this thing on? Oh. I didn't think I was going to live to see the day, but the Lake St. Louis Walmart EV charging station is finally opened. Let's go check it out. You knew this wasn't going to happen without coffee. So since I'm in Lake St. Louis, I came over to the Meadows to Southern Grace Coffee. I always forget they have a brick and mortar location because they are huge supporters of Cars and Coffee St. Louis. So I usually just get it out of their truck. So, but it's close by the Walmart. So got my Americano. Let's go get some kilowatts. It's finally happened. Lake St. Louis Walmart is open for business for charging. Very excited. I have been following this for quite some time, and you know, if you've been following the channel, from fences up to the transformer finally going in to all the permitting finally getting done, getting turned on. It's been a long, arduous journey for me. Maybe it's because I'm paying way too much attention to it. Either way. So this station review is going to be a little different because I've never used Walmart charging before. I've never used the ABB A400 units before. Walmart is doing these and the Alpitronic HYC 400s, much like what Iana Mercedes-Benz use. Familiar with those? Not familiar with these? We'll see. I'm going to test out the cable management, a couple different positions of the car, and talk about my opinion on the plugs and why they're situated like they are. It's generating a lot of buzz online. So let's get to that. Then we'll do my normal site review. And then at the end, I have some speculation on what's next for Walmart in St. Louis area, and we'll go over that. So let's get plugged in. Let's show you the different ways of plugging in here because it's a little different, and let's talk about those plugs. All right, so on the Alpitronic HYC 400s that some of the Walmarts use, that Iana uses, the cable management reaches, that it stretches out enough. So I'm going to find out if that works on the ABB units. That would be a no. You are not going to make it. Even if I got closer to the bollard over here, it's not going to reach because this does not extend out like the HYCs. So while not ideal, you can nose in on the other side, and let's see. These are heavy cables, but yes, you can do the crossover. Once again, not ideal, but it would work in a pinch. And honestly, you're not really blocking because if like a Tesla were to pull up, they would back in, it would be on this side for them, and they would just do a double crossover. So that's an option. Well, then the way you're normally going to do it is you're going to back in. And you're gonna have to probably, especially on these ABBs, get as close as you can to whatever's behind you. I know some of these stations are set up in the middle and the bollard makes it real hard to get close enough even for the HYCs or for the Alpitronics. So this could be a little more difficult in a different station with the ABBs, but I think we'll give this one to reach. Reaches. These cables are very heavy. They're very new, so they're not very pliable. So what I'm gonna do, I didn't fully plug in yet. I'm going to switch to show you how you activate a charge at Walmart because there's no card readers. There's no plug-in charge yet. They are working on plug-in charge. So you do have to use their app. I've never done it. This is, as I said, my first time using Walmart and using these ABBs. So let's get over to the app and see how it's done. This is the easiest method. You just scan the QR code and the app automatically jumps right here. Press the blue button. Brings up the next screen. You select your connector at the top. Select get charging. And then you wait for the handshake. Obviously, as I've said, I prefer just tap a credit card. But with the discount, you definitely want to be able to go through the app to get that discount. Plug and charge will be great when it comes, but no one's been able to integrate plug and charge with network specific discounts like Tesla and Electrify America. Although Iona does for the couple brands that get charging. So then once it connects, there you go. It's still going through the handshake up there. But I still think they should have a credit card reader. This works pretty well for having an app to have to do it. So you just scan that QR code, and follow through the steps. And there we go. It starts up, shows you your percentage, how much you paid, how much you've gotten, how long you've been connected. Fortunately, it doesn't tell you how many kilowatts you're pulling, but I guess we can't have everything. But it's that easy. Also, it's supposed to just pull up automatically when you show up by location and give you a quick button if you don't do the plug-in first. The other option is just to go in, hit services at the bottom, select auto services, scroll down, select EV charging, and then this would bring you to that same screen that the QR code brought you to. So there's basically 3 different ways to get there, but you plug in, scan the QR code, or open up the app. It's not ideal, but it works, and we'll take what we can get until they can get plug and charge squared away. All right, we got plugged in, we're ramping up. I love this big display on the front, easy to see. Hopefully that chart stays up the whole time you're charging, unlike other units like the Alpitronics, we have to keep hitting the button. But you got a nice graph down here showing you your state of charge, how long you've been on, how fast you're going, and we ramped right up full speed pretty much, so that's good. So that's what it looks like while we're charging. So there's been a lot of discussion about this. You've got the CCS on this side, NACS on this side. Pretty much every Walmart that I've seen online has been set up this way. And a lot of people are saying, why? It's backwards. It would make more sense to have CCS here and NACS over here. So Teslas can back in and be right by theirs. Most of us with driver side front plugs could nose in over here. No problem. Here's my opinion, my speculation as to kind of maybe the thought process here. This one, it's not for Teslas. As I discussed on the road trip video, Tesla drivers, rightfully so, are fiercely loyal to the supercharger network. And honestly, there's one a quarter mile that way. And it's cheaper for them than using a Walmart station. My opinion is this is for all the new cars coming out. Everyone's going NACS. It's going to proliferate. And a lot of the ones that have already switched, like your Rivians, still have the plug driver front. So that's who this is for. This is for the early adopters of NACS that still have the plug on the driver's front fender. Eventually, they're going to split it, or they'll come in, they can retrofit all these CCS to be NACS as it becomes the dominant charging standard, which it will. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So right now, all the stations are split 50-50, and they're tracking utilization, and as NACS utilization goes higher than CCS utilization, they can just come in, swap out these plugs, no problem. But that's my opinion, that's my thought process, is this isn't for Teslas, this is for everyone else that still has their plug on that side. And going further down the rabbit hole of my brain, I'm wondering if there isn't some testing that shows that the CCS plug can handle the stretch, the tension of being pulled out further in weird situations more possibly than the NACS plug. That's just me thinking. So maybe that's why they decided to go NACS on this side first, was to alleviate that strain on the plugs. It's a pretty thick cable. I'm probably really grasping for straws there, but it's just my idea. But to me, that's why you've got them this way. For the most part, it's not a problem. This reached here just fine by me backing in. It reached if I did the crossover. Interestingly, that it does not reach if I nose in on this side, whereas it does on the Alpitronics. And if you want to see that, Make sure you're checking out the Arkansas e-Traveler. Landon's done all this as well with dealing with the Alpitronics. Those are most of what's down in the Arkansas area. So check out his stuff too. But I just wanted to show you, give you my idea of why the plugs are this way, because I keep hearing they're backwards. This is stupid. I was even saying that until I really thought through the process and listened to some people, including Landon. And so that's how we get plugged in. That's how you get a charge started. I don't like that it's app only. They are working on plug and charge. But with that, I'm going to get off the ground and get you the full site tour. Here's the charging setup, as has been very typical for pretty much all the Walmart locations that I've heard of so far. 4 chargers, 8 stalls, perfect split between NACS and CCS. Let's go over here. I believe this is a 1500 kVA transformer. And where'd it go? Where'd it go? I seen it the other. Yep, there we are. 1500 kVA. What does that mean? That means that, like all of the other installations, they are actually oversubscribed. Meaning if 8 cars all pulled up at the same time that could all take more than the 200 kilowatt split at the same time, these switchgear and everything is going to have to derate all of them, because this transformer can't put out that much power at once. They can upgrade the transformer if utilization deems it necessary. I doubt it's ever going to be a real problem. What are the chances that the Lucid Club of America is all going to show up in here and pick all 8 stalls at 10% state of charge? So, but that's been pretty much across the board for Walmart, is the 1500 kVAs on the 8 stalls. Oversubscribed probably won't be an issue. Where it might be an issue is as we come over here, it appears possibly, that may just be utility work, but it also could be that is what's called stubbed up for another unit, for an expansion, if needed. If they realize, hey, this is being massively utilized, we need a 5th charger, I believe. And if you know better than me, please get in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong, but that's either stubbed up or that's just utility access. But a lot of the sites have had that, are showing that they're prepared for expansion if necessary to make it easier. Walk down here. All nice, bright Walmart blue. And so at the end here, closest to the store, you've got the accessibles. And it's real nice. They cut out the median, put all this pavement work in here. So if you are in a wheelchair or have a walking assist and you need the accessible spots, plenty of room to get around here. This is nice. So looking at the store, if you're not familiar, there's the store. So I've been trying to figure out the pattern on these, because like I visited the Morris stall or station before it opened, and it was not built on the outdoor side. So my theory was, okay, actually they're putting them by the pickup, because if you watch Landon's videos, they're testing down in Arkansas in places where you can do your store pickup right to the charger. But that theory does not hold everywhere, because at this particular location, the pickup is all the way over there on the other side by the market. So I'm not saying they can't bring your stuff out here, just saying it's not conveniently located to do so. Obviously, we've got, oh, look at that. No trash cans within reasonable distance. I don't even know if I see one by the outdoor door. Outdoor door? So, no trash cans, no squeegees, no canopies. I wasn't expecting squeegees or canopies. I do know someone that works at the store here, so if you're watching, you need to tell your boss, get trash cans out here, because it's going to become a mess if you don't. Already kind of is, but that's construction. It's been stormy. Other things around, we've got a Panda, just a quick jot jolt across the street that's not normally that busy, so it wouldn't be an issue to get to. You've got the store, you can get whatever you want in there. Gas station's way, way, way over there. That ain't happening, so it will get the cup for having amenities, just not 24-hour amenities. Pricing, I'll try and pull up the screen. It is time of use pricing. It's 49 cents most of the day and 29 cents in the overnight hours. I want to say it's either 10 or 11 p.m. until 8 a.m. gets the lower time of use pricing. Also, they did just recently roll out now nationwide after testing it that Walmart Plus members also get 10% off of their charging. So especially if you can come during the lower pricing and use your Walmart Plus, you're looking at 24, 25 cents a kilowatt hour. The only way to beat that is to charge at home. So there is that. Location wise, just like the Tesla station, that's a quarter mile that way. We're close enough to the Interstate 64. It'll get a point for that. If it did, I'll have to look back and see if I gave Tesla one. It is kind of a little convoluted getting here, so I may not take that, give them that cup. And speed, these are 400 kilowatt units, 200 split if needed. So it's not going to get the highest score, but that also shows this isn't necessarily meant to be a traveler's stop, and that's where the Amped Americano Index is more aimed at for the road tripper, and this is more of a community location. So yes, the score is going to be a little lower, but it's still a good. I mean, Walmart they're open, what, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Yeah, it's going to suck if you're overnight and you need a bathroom. And that's, a lot of them are that way. I mean, but I said, I think this is more meant for community charging than really road tripping charging. And that's what you're going to see with a lot of the Walmarts. I mean, a lot of the Walmarts are close to interstate. It's going to be dual use, but don't let the low Amped Americano Index score necessarily say this is a bad location, along with other ones that don't necessarily rate high for that same reason, that not every charging station is strictly for road trippers. I think I nailed all the points on that one. So now, let's talk about my speculations on what's next for the St. Louis market. So what's next for the St. Louis area? Been doing some digging, trying to get through all the portals and everything and see what's going on. My best guess is keep an eye on Wentzville and Chesterfield. Wentzville has recently put in requests for load calculations in the area around where the charging would probably go. So that's a good sign that they're starting to look into the Wentzville area. And Chesterfield has also been showing some inquiries about commercial electrical service upgrades. And those two make a lot of sense if you look at the map, because they bracket this location on both sides. I expect it to speed up in the St. Louis area. Walmart in St. Louis have a long history of always being on the forefront. I'm kind of surprised that we're only at one location at this point, but some of that could just be bureaucratic BS that's holding things up. This won't be the only location. I don't even think by the end of the year this will be the only location. I have a feeling we're going to see more, mostly along the corridors. But like I said, to me, my best guess based on seeing activity behind the scenes is that Wentzville is probably next, followed by Chesterfield. O'Fallon's a possibility. There hasn't been any requests on there, but the permitting process there is a lot easier for it. They don't have to go through as much. They can just say, hey, we're putting these in, basically, and then make sure they do it to code. So that's where I see things going. I think St. Louis is going to blow up here for Walmart charging and needs it. And that's where I think we should be keeping our eyes. All right, we'll wrap it up here. So actually went a little past 80. That's okay. I'm getting ready to head out on the road anyway, and I need to get this thing topped up, do the rest at home. But yeah, I love the looks of the ABBs. I love the screen. I like that it's on the front, which I know Albitronic is working on. And anyway, I will see you back at the blackboard to go over the score real quick. And that is it from Lake St. Louis for now. All right, sorry, no green screen today. I just didn't have time to set it up, and I don't have a permanent setup for it, so we'll do this instead. Okay, here's the wrap up for the Lake St. Louis Walmart EV charging, as I just lost my notes. There we go. All right, trash cans, squeegees, canopies, 0. Distance will be a 2. I checked. Tesla got a 2, so the Walmart gets a 2. They're basically in the same spot. Speed is a 2, 400 kilowatt chargers. Amenities a 1. Price a 1. So it gives it a total of 6. Like I said, not totally representative, and the score isn't always. It's as a traveler looking for, as a road tripper, probably not the best, but that's only if you're going overnight. And so that's that. Still I enjoy the location. Maybe I'm biased because it's right down the street from me, but I'm just excited to see a lot more Walmart chargers opening up around here, which hopefully we'll start to see some action on. With that, once again, if you enjoyed this, drop some comments below. Let me know what you think. Give me your opinions on whatever, anything. I don't care. And subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. That helps the channel so much. And with that, we'll see you on the next one.